Does the presence of those thoughts feel like it's more likely to be true? Like, do you notice what I'd call like thought action fusion about that? Having the thought feels like it's true.
Kind of. And I, as soon as I heard the term thought action fusion, I realized that I have a lot of that. I mean, I can very easily just imagine that my loved one's going to die and then start crying immediately, and they just all of a sudden feel dead to me. Like I have a lot of thought action fusion, um, but I don't know it. And here's the thing: what was I listening to? I was listening to a book about anxiety and or OCD, and I think about the example patient worried that her son was dead on the side of the road from a car accident all day, every day. So that was her like content that she was struggling with, and her exposure was to think on purpose, my son is dead by the side of the road, over and over and over, and make it into a song to the tune of Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, and sing it until she got so bored of it and it didn't seem like a threat anymore. It just seemed absurd. I listened to that and I thought, okay, well, the chances that her son is going to die in a car accident are very low. The chances that he'll die before her are very low. Most likely she'll outlive him and he'll be okay. But my worry that my kid's going to get sick is going to happen. It's not a matter of whether it'll happen. It is. And so I am just worried for when it does.
Well, it doesn't actually stop there as far as I hear it, the way that I hear it. It's my kid's going to get sick. I'm not going to know what to do. Then I'm going to be out of control and he'll die.
Yes. Yes, I think that's the part I need to tackle.
Would you like to sing about that?
I probably should, yes. I think that, and so that's what I'm kind of having trouble like thinking of what my exposure exactly should be, and that maybe should be it.
Yeah,
is to go further with it and to realize that that's absurd. That's probably not going to happen.
Right. Where it seems like initially you really did have some fears around the feeling of being nauseous, and you don't. So the thing that I'm looking forward to talking to Ken Goodman about in the next session is the particular hypersensitivity to disgust that can show up with emetophobia, but that you don't seem to have. You don't seem to be particularly sensitive to the feeling of disgust, which makes you not anxious around vomit or the possibility of vomit. So it may have been that you initially did have sensitivity to nausea, but then you already did the exposure to get through that. And so now the function of the fear of like, what if my child gets sick, is not really about nausea or vomit. It's more about, and I don't know what to do, and it gets out of control, and then there's catastrophic consequences because of that.
Yeah.
So, and did you have any feelings when you heard me say that?
No, that's a good. I don't know. It sounds true.
Okay. And so can you repeat after me? My son might get sick.
My son might get sick.
I might not know what to do.
I might not know what to do.
The situation might get out of control.
The situation might get out of control.
And he might die.
And he might die.
Did you have any sensations in your body while you said that?
Only with the last phrase, and he might die. I felt a little bit out of breath, like a sudden kind of maybe baby whoosh, like baby whoosh.
Okay, can you say that a couple more times?
And he might die. And he might die. Yeah, that's really sad to say. A thought that just popped into my head was I felt the same way with my puppy when I first got her. I was absolutely head over heels in love and terrified that she would die. And it's interesting. I mean, I still love her, obviously, but when I had my son, it was weird. I suddenly didn't care as much if she got sick because suddenly my son took priority and he became my new obsession. Which is almost interesting because at some of my darkest moments where I've just worried about my son, I've thought, you know what, I need to have another kid so that I can stop worrying about my son. Just pass the buck.
Even even in your darkest moments, you have a great sense of humor.
Thank you.
Okay, well, I'm actually aware of our time, but I think where we just got to is a great place to stop. So what I would suggest for homework is to do that exposure, whether you, so turning it into a song or personifying it in some way is a way to get distance from the thought. So you could do that and you can come back and sing that song to us if you'd like, but you could also just say, write out and say, my son might get sick. I might not know what to do. It could get out of control and he might die. I'd suggest saying that for 5 to 10 minutes every evening, or pick a time every day and say that for 5 to 10 minutes, 10 being better, but 5 at least if you're like busy. And just notice what happens in your body. So you may start to cry, you may not feel anything. Basically, we're targeting thought action fusion, and whether you don't feel anything or you feel like crying, it's not meaningful. It's just practicing thought action fusion until you desensitize that reaction.
Oh, okay.
Anything?
That feels
Yeah.
hopeful. I feel like I finally have a little plan.
Okay. Yeah. Is anything else coming to mind that you want to try between now and our next session?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. Well, then we'll look forward to hearing how it goes.
Thank you.
You're welcome.